Max 647, the future of Kansas gun rights, the focus of a new lawsuit from Attorney General Chris Kobach. The suit includes 21 other states and challenges an ATF rule. The rule will require a federal firearms dealer license for every person who sells a firearm for anything the ATF sees as a profit, and that includes money, a service, or exchanging firearms. The lawsuit argues the ruling violates the Second Amendment and circumvents Congress. Another bill awaiting the governor's signature increases criminal penalties for people distributing fentanyl-related substances in Kansas. On top of increasing criminal penalties, it adds fentanyl to drugs on the child endangerment list, and that means allowing a child to be near fentanyl would come with increased charges.
Target juvenile justice reform as they pass a new bill benefiting those in juvenile corrections facilities. The push would establish work and educational program access for teens in those facilities. For now, leave is only granted for medical services or reintegration. This change would allow teens who meet certain criteria to leave the facility for educational or vocational programs. This goes to Governor Kelly for her signature.